Kahala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah Chodash, and the one of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Big salutation to the Akim doing his work in true sincerity in the four corners of the earth. All right, we're going to do this lesson. All right, going into a current event, all right, that are happening in the planet Earth. All right, that involve Babylon, all right, and the ending, all right, of this place, you know, through the Most High, you know, turning the minds of these leaders, man. Salaki. Yeah, so these leaders are going according, all right, to the order and instruction, all right, of the Most High Yahweh, man. Okay, through his different avenues. Okay. So these leaders ain't acting on their own. All right, they're not going renegade. All right, they ain't gonna go in there and bypass security and launch no nuclear missiles. Okay. Because if it was possible, it would have happened by now. You know, as crazy as this damn devil is, man. You know, but the Most High has, you know, total control over his left hand side, man. Okay, just like he got control over the right hand side. You know, it says the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement is a mutual defense pact signed on August 7, 2026 by Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan. It establishes a collective defense clause stipulating an attack on one is an attack on all. Okay, so this just got signed, you know, 2 days ago. All right, it says on Al Jazeera, Iran war updates, Mecca Joint Defense Pact signed as Hormuz deal nears. Pakistan says new defense pact with Saudi Arabia and Turkey is purely defensive. Saudi Arabia's defense pact with Turkey and Pakistan complicates peace, all right, with Israel. They say it's the same as NATO, you know. These Arab nations, so-called Arab, you know, nations making a pact together. You know, and this pissed off Iran, all right, because Iran was acting like they was playing middleman, you know, between Pakistan and America and Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, you know, and the whole time they were pretty much, you know, on the U.S. and on Saudi Arabia's side, man. You know, just like, you know, and these are all so-called Muslim nations, you know, and here it is, they choosing up, you know, like heathen do, choosing up to join sides with Esau, you know, over their own people, man. You know, which is Iran. You know, they the same, some of the same people, because you got Ishmael and you got Elam out there, you know. So they switching up on each other for the sake of Esau, all right, and Amalek, man, all right, and turning on each other. You know, but these are all supposed to be so-called Muslims, man. All right, we'll show you that Islam is full of shit, you know. Completely, especially them damn Saudi Arabians, man. My goodness. You know, they totally then bent over for Amalek. All right, and it makes sense. You know, the rumor I heard that them dudes is Amalekites. You know, that's the only thing that makes sense. You know, here it is, you got all this damn money and shit. You know, why the hell are you bending the knee, you know, to Amalek? You know, and Ishmael and Amalek supposed to have beef, you know? Shit is crazy. But yeah, but that's what happened recently. You know, you ain't gonna hear too much about it. All right, you damn sure ain't gonna hear about it at your job. All right. Even when you turn on Fox, they probably ain't even gonna show it. All right. But this is what's going on in the planet Earth, man. All right. We put, how does this affect Iran? I put the wrong effect. It say the Mecca, the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement profoundly impacts Iran by shifting the regional balance of power. So, like, introducing an immediate deterrent to its military strategy and forcing a complex internal debate in Tehran. While Turkish and Pakistani officials publicly maintain that the pact is purely defensive and does not target any specific nation, its timing and structural composition directly challenges Iran's regional posture. Yeah, because that's how Iran retaliates when U.S. and Amalek strikes them. You know, they go and they strike Saudi Arabia. You know, they hit some of their plants and their refineries and their rigs and shit. You know, which is detrimental. You know, they causing billions of dollars in damage, man. You know, and now Turkey want to jump in and shit. They ready to jump him. About to jump his ass, man. Man, let's jump him like on Friday. So yeah, man. You know, I had a point to make about these nations. You know, turning on Iran. You know, yeah, Saudi Arabia. You know, that's how Iran retaliates. You know, by shooting at Saudi Arabia and those other Middle Eastern countries over there. You know, Oman and Kuwait. You know, they'll hit them in their pockets. You know. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Turkey has a huge military, man. Turkey has, like, I believe they top 10 in the world, you know, in military might. You know, they got a lot of foot soldiers and shit. They got a lot of missiles, you know, so they are definitely a formidable. Is it formidable? They're a formidable, you know, opponent, man. You know, so that's a big deal. And Turkey is in NATO. You know, so here it is. Another nation is clicked up with fucking Esau, man. You know, a so-called Arab nation. You know, all right. To show you heathen are done, man. You through. You know, all your fucking, even your leaders are kissing Esau's ass and selling you out. All right. Why you getting so fucking high and mighty? You know, just because you get to own a liquor store in Jake neighborhood. You know. It's Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. You know, so the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Okay? The king can't do whatever he want to do. These presidents, you know, these leaders and rulers, they can't do whatever they want to do. Okay? Because the Most High is controlling them. All right? And this is his movie. Okay? And these are all his actors. All right, on his stage. Okay, so Esau can't just go fucking renegade and launch missiles and all this shit. You know, even them demons, you know, because they counsel with them demons and shit, and them spirits. All right, them demons even tell them, you know what I'm saying, what to do. You can't do that shit. You know, they be like, nigga, chill out. All right, we got first seat with Satan, you know, which who is Satan sitting in the seat, you know, listening to the Most High give him instruction, you know, the Most High, you know. So through their chain of command, ultimately it's the Most High putting their ass to work, you know. Now ain't that a plot twist for your ass? All right. But that's all I had, you know. I pray this lesson is edifying. And Shalom.